and I want to understand what that means, if it works for me in my space, if it does not. Maybe we'll go like this. Tell me top to bottom, maybe the top 5 asset classes it works best in, and then tell me sort of, how that breaks down and then what it is in general.
Right. Okay. So basically, every asset class is definitely makes the cut for cost segregation, but some are, like you said, more beneficial than others. So we all heard of gas stations and car washes. They get a tremendous amount per IRS guidelines. We're talking about almost the whole thing. But people will say car washes and gas stations are not really real estate. It's more of a business, which is, there's truth to it. Hotels as well. Hotels get tremendous write-offs. I've been very involved in the hospitality arena, but it's a business. It's not just pure real estate. In terms of pure real estate, the best asset class is mobile home parks. Mobile home parks get sometimes 70-80% of the purchase price net of land. A lot of the property that you're buying is considered non-structural, so you can take a lot of that year one, or whatever the bonus depreciation is up to in that current year. The point is, mobile home parks and RV parks are tremendous. And then multifamily, garden style multifamily is the next one up. Garden style multifamily, pickleball courts, swimming pools, basketball courts, you get a tremendous amount. And then it goes down to even single family garden style single families. You're also going to get a lot. But when you go to the city style multifamily, where there's no parking lots, there's no landscaping, there's no common areas, you're going to get less. So mobile home parks are number one in the real estate arena. Then you got garden style multifamily, single style multifamily. Then I would say the next one is big strip centers or retail centers with big parking lots. Parking lots are a huge component for cost seg benefits. If you have a small parking lot, you're going to get much less. You got a big, large parking lot, you're going to get a lot. Self-storage and warehouses are it's definitely worth it to do, but you're going to get much less because they're hollow. Why buying self-storage or a warehouse? So people can put their stuff in there. It's empty. It's a shell. So there's not too many components. There's no cabinetry.
So is industrial a little bit lower on the list for optimization?
Absolutely. So industrial, warehouses, self-storage are the least.
But you still can utilize the report.
Absolutely. But instead of getting, let's say, 23% or 28% or 30% net of land, you're going to get maybe 10 or 12 or 14% net of land. It's still worth it, but there's just much less meat on the bone to start with.
Understood.
So it's like the parable I always give is you have a cow. So cows taste great. You have good meat, rib steaks from there, and you'll get a lot. There's a lot of meat on the bone there. When it comes to other animals, it could be lamb, it could be other stuff. There's less meat on the bone, but it's still tasty. It's still good. You're not going to get as much, but it's still worthwhile to eat. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're buying a $500,000 self-storage units, then yeah, it's probably not worth it to do a cost seg to get a $70,000 deduction. Maybe maybe not. It depends on the person. But if you're buying a $5 million or a $2 million self-storage units, it's definitely worth it because you might not get $400,000 or $500,000, but you still might get $200,000. So definitely worth it. Always worth it to run the numbers.
Copy that. And that's why you guys need to reach out to Isaac if you want to get a cost segregation study. That's what he specializes in. His team specializes in it. Obviously, every single project property is different, and you need to consult with his team as well as, connect with your CPA. That being said, Isaac, let's talk to exactly what it is. Can you break it down for me, how it works with the IRS, real kind of high level, how you guys are essentially running the report, how long that takes, but then what you're looking at essentially to optimize the IRS, savings or risk mitigation on taxes?
Absolutely. So every property is made up of 3 different components. Residential property, there's something called 27.5-year property, that's structure, actual structure of the building. Then there's the 15-year property, which is land improvements, landscaping, parking lots, parking spaces, all these stuff are considered the 15-year bucket. Then you got the 5-year bucket, which is chandeliers, flooring, cabinetry, special plumbing, special electrical, windows.
And this is the length of time that someone can depreciate this part of the asset. Taxes, right?
So the 5-year components can be taken over a period of 5 years. The 15-year components can be taken over a period of 15 years. That has a 15-year lifespan. And then the 27.5-year components have a 27.5-year lifespan. For commercial, 27.5 just changes up with 39.
You've never explained this before, have you?
Yeah, every day. So commercial's 39, residential's 27.5. Now, you may ask, So Isaac, I got 5 and 15-year components in my property. I don't need a cost seg guy to go ahead and take it out. I already do it. The problem is like this. You go ahead and you go to your accountant. It can be the top firm in America. At the same time, if they're not a cost seg engineer or a cost seg company, they won't know how to properly segregate and reclassify the components that are technically eligible for faster depreciation cycles. So what they'll do is they'll just throw everything under the long-term bucket. So essentially, there's 5-year and 15-year components that you can take earlier on, which are getting swallowed up in the 27.5 and the 39-year bucket, and you're just going to amortize it over those years. So essentially, you're losing out.